For today's lesson, you are going to be practicing fractions using measuring cups. For this lesson, you will need a 1 cup, a half cup, a third of a cup, and a quarter of a cup. You may use others if you need to. However, these will be the ones I'll be using for examples today. You should have a set of these in your kitchen, maybe 2 sets. And many of you probably have already been using these either in these weeks of e-learning or before with your family cooking in the kitchen. Take a moment, pause the video, and see if you can go find measuring cups of these or other measurements and bring them back with you. We will start with a little bit of review. If we have 1 cup and we add another cup, and we add yet 1 more cup, the answer, you're all screaming at me, is 3 cups. I think that is pretty simple. We can draw that 3-cup diagram in a little bit different way that might make more sense to us. I'm going to move that to the side. If we have, let's say a tape diagram, which we have been using and practicing. If we have 1 cup and another cup and another cup, as we have been talking about for weeks, that would give us 3 cups. Let's break this cup down a little bit differently. Let's look at this cup as 1 whole cup. And instead of adding more cups to it, let's break the cup down into smaller units. Let's say we're going to break them into half cups. So with our half cup, if I decided to break this off, I could say, well, look at that. How many? Well, we know that 2 half cups poured into a full cup gives us 1 cup. Now, instead of using half cups, we are going to divide the full cup into third cups. This should be making sense to you. This should not be anything new. And if we were to take this, divide it into thirds and third, we have 1/3 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup, which once again gives us that magic number of 1 cup. With your quarter cup right now on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard or something you have to write on, I want you to draw the same kind of diagram with the full cup and the quarter cup. Go. You should have come up with something that looks like this, where you have a full cup divided into quarter cups to give you 4 quarter cups. You can use these concepts to help figure out subtracting of mixed numbers. Let's start with a simple problem of 1 cup minus 1/3 of a cup. That's basically saying I have 1 full cup, I'm going to take 1/3 of a cup away from that. Well, if we draw the diagram like we have been in FAST, we take this as 1 cup, and we divide our 1 cup into third cups because the denominator in our problem is thirds. So we divide this up into thirds. And in our problem, we are going to remove 1 of those thirds. So we're going to take this third away. And what does that leave us? That leaves us with 1/3 and 1/3, which is, as we know, without really thinking about it too much, 2/3. So 1 cup minus 1/3 of a cup, or 1 subtract 1/3, gives us 2/3. That is a simple subtraction using a whole cup subtracting a portion of a cup. Now we're going to move on into mixed numbers and whole numbers. So instead of saying that we have 1 cup, we are actually going to say that we have 1 cup plus 1 cup plus 1 cup, which gives us 3 full cups. I'm going to leave the 1 cup up here just to help us remember. In this situation, we're going to take this 3 cups and we are going to subtract a half a cup from the 3 cups. So if we were to draw a picture, we have 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups. Once again, because we see that the denominator of what we are subtracting is halves, we take our full cups and we divide them into half. Because once again, this denominator is the boss and tells us how to approach it. When we look at this, now we say, all right, we are removing 1/2 of the 3 cups that are in front of us, leaving us with 1 cup left, 2 cups left, with another half cup, which gives us 2 1/2 cups left. So 3, take away a half, gives us 2 1/2. We are now going to take this and move toward the assignment that you are getting ready to do. For the next activity, we're going to be asking you to show us the concept of fractions subtracted from whole numbers using the measuring cups we were discussing earlier, another measuring cup that will have markings on it. You should also have one of these in your kitchen. It shows actually has 1/3 and 1/2 cups, and by default 1/4 cups, and a bucket of water. This one happens to be 4 exact cups, but you will not need to worry about that. Please make sure you have these materials as we start. You might want to get some towels too, because if you spill some water, you're going to have to clean up. The first example problem we have is a simple one, 1 subtract 1/2, which you all already know is 1/2. However, using these cups, we would ask you to demonstrate, and here's a way that you might do it. I'm going to take the 1 cup and I'm going to fill it with water. And I'm going to fill it right up to the edge. And so now I have 1 cup of water. I'm going to take that and I'm going to pour it quickly into my measuring cup, which should also measure 1 cup. Now I'm going to take a half a cup out of that, so here is my half cup measure. I will take a half cup and I will pour it into my half cup and fill it all the way to the top. Again, take this and pour it back into my container. And now my half cup is empty. How much is left? Well, if I can measure and look at it, or I can pour it into my half cup to see that there is exactly perfect measurement. 1/2 cup left. I'm not going to pick that up, but I will bring you closer. And you can see that the half cup measure is exactly 1/2 cup. So I have now demonstrated by using the cups and half cup the exact amount when I take a full cup and take a half a cup away. And look, no water spilled. For this second and final example problem, we are going to go with 2 subtracting 3/4. We need to start with 2 cups of water. So we'll take our water and pour it into our full cup. There's 1 full cup. And here comes the second full cup. Now we have 2 full cups of water. Check. Now we need to take away 3/4. Well, if we look at our measuring cups, we have a 1/4 cup here that we can use to remove. So we will take our 2 full cups and we are going to subtract. How many of those? 3/4. So here we go. We take 1 cup away, or I'm sorry, 1/4 cup away. We're going to take the second 1/4 cup away. And we're going to take the third 1/4 cup away. So we've now removed 3 1/4 cups. Subtract 3/4. At this point in this container, there should be the amount of the answer to our problem, the difference to our problem. So let's measure it out to see. Well, we'll try to fill up the 1 cup first. And we'll go and get that all the way to the top. There is 1 cup. And then there's not much left, so let's go with the 1/4 cup. And we will pour that. And it was pretty close, not exact, but pretty close, to give us 1 1/4 cup left. If we come back to our equation and solve it as we have been doing earlier this morning, we will have, starting with two cups, we have 1 cup, 1 cup, and because again this is divided into fourths, we are going to divide our each cup into fourths. So we'll start with the half here and then take half of that to get fourth and half of that to get a fourth. Same thing over here, half of that each to get a fourth. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 fourths. And how many of those fourths do we take away? Well, we take away 1, 2, and 3. And our result is, as we measured a minute ago, we have 1 full cup left, and we have 1/4 of a cup left, which gives us, as we saw with the water a minute ago, 1 1/4 cup. Finally, it's your turn. You will be taking the measuring cups that you have found, and you'll be doing the same kind of activity that I have just now walked us through. You'll be showing us through a video or through sound recording like I've done today the answer to 1 1/4, which will be x, to 3 1/2, which is y, and 3 subtract 1 3/4, which is z. As I mentioned, you will need to be using the cups and explain and demonstrate how each of these would be figured using the measuring cups and a liquid of your choice. Again, I think water would be the best. It's easiest to clean up, but a liquid of your choice. Thank you all, and we will see you online.